Blonde.
Hi, I'm back. Let's get into it. I don't like Mavuika. I really hate her, actually. Some of you may notice that the drawing I'm doing is not Mavuika. Not in the slightest. It's actually Daphne, the nymph from Wings. And I'm going to explain why it's her specifically. But the reason why it's not Mavuika or Genshin in the slightest at this point is because I don't like Mavuika, and as much as I despise her design, she's ugly. It has very little to do with her design has very little to do with any of the inspirations they've taken for her, or the region in general. If I'm perfectly honest, I believe Natlan is supposed to be based on like Native American / West African has influences. I already hate. Look, I'm not going to talk about the awful racism in the designs. I'm not going to talk about the other problems surrounding that. Not because I would not want to, actually, because I would want to do that in a more demure fashion when I'm not so angry. Because if I were to redesign Mavuika, it would not sate any like anger I feel towards the game for this, because a good design could not have saved this terrible character. Even if she looked like absolutely like gorgeous, if she was exactly what you'd think of the Natlan god of war, I would not care. Her story sucks. Oh, not her story, I'm sorry. Her character sucks. And let me tell you why. But before that, really quick, I am drawing Daphne because I would like to point something out. Like, I'm not going to redesign Mavuika. I'm too angry for that. But what I want to show with this design, because as much as I dislike what Wings did with her, Daphne is unironically a fantastic example of doing like really blonde hair with pale skin. They do not do that well with Mavuika. Her fire cheese grater looking ass hair could never match up to the majesty that is either of Daphne's designs. I know there's other outfits, but I'm splitting it between her ethereal nymph outfit and the outfits they put her in afterwards, which, do I consider canon? No, but that's not this video. Despite her being the drawing. But anyway, let's talk about why I don't like Mavuika. And let me start with the point that set me on this track. Mavuika does not have an arc. She is just the perfect archon from the beginning of the story to the fucking end. I know that she has her backstory that, I'm sorry, isn't even that tragic, but it is sad. I know that she has it. I know it's there. Like her sister that died, I get it. It's sad. You missed all of her life. I'm sorry, but also, I don't mean to compare the stories of the other archons, because I understand the stories are very unique to each of them. I don't care. I'm sorry. Coming off the heels of Furina, who came off the heels of Nahida, who came off the heels of Makoto. Now, the fact that this bitch was like, wow, this nation's going to shit, let me go to sleep. Like, all she did was sleep for 500 years. She did not experience 500 years. She went to... This is the Avatar situation. Except in that show, Aang was actually like... He actually dealt with that, where he's not actually 112 years old. He's a 12-year-old boy who slept for 100 years, and is not the same as living 100 years. That's the same thing happening with her, except for some reason she's just the smartest and bestest ever. I hate characters like this. See, the thing is, I don't hate Mavuika because she does anything overtly terrible. I don't hate her because she's like the narrative just treats her so weirdly. The Traveler's never gotten treatment like this. She has this weird, like, no, she does have plot armor. That I actually don't mind. Well, I mind it a little bit. But, like, she can never be wrong. She's never incorrect. She doesn't go through an arc. Like, again, her backstory is sad. But everything she does is completely justified. Everyone just sings her goddamn praises, and I am sick of it. And I was willing to give her the benefit of the doubt after the Archon quest. I was like, maybe just maybe, her story quest will give me what I'm looking for. No, the story quest made it worse, actually. Like, they don't give her a character. Oh, no. Let me tell you, they were like, oh, she is flawed. She's a little playful. She eats a lot. That's so quirky. It really is giving, like, oh, look at me, I'm so quirky, here's my faults. But it's like the most innocuous faults, where, like, Nahida and Furina had to go through so much, and while they do have their faults, you know, outside of the context of the game being, like, low-key, a little bit racist, like, outside of that, they have, like, real character faults. Like, just off the top of my head, the beginning of Furina's story quest is, she's like, I am not doing anything for anyone else, I'm not acting, like, she's, like, a little bit, I don't want to say pompous, but she's definitely apprehensive towards, like, anything related to the arts, which is, it's understandable. This isn't a well-written character, she's understandable. She's still a little bit of a bitch, though, for it. In Mavuika's case, she, like, tell me, what, did anyone ever tell her she's wrong? No, you know when they tell her she's wrong? You deserve a life, too! You deserve to be happy and alive! Oh, gag me! Like, this whole plan to save Natlan and rewrite its rules by, like, sort of fucking around with Renova. It's like, Mavuika does nothing. Like, she does, okay, she is present for two parts of the plan. She did not come up with the plan. I know the whole thing of, like, I'm going to wake up again. But, like, she does so little of the plan, actually. Like, yeah, she ends it. And Xbalanque, actually, by the way, spoilers for Story Quest and the Archon Quest, but I'm assuming if at this point you've played them. He tells her, you will be remembered as the one who finished the plan. Now, I like Xbalanque, actually, quite a lot. I hate that they put him in a child's body. That was so weird. I just think that was really awkward. Like, it could have been so cool, but okay. But, like, I like him a lot. I think he's funny. And I also really liked Capitano. Listen, he had a little bit of nothing to do after fighting Mavuika in the first arc. But however, in the first act, but however, he does bounce back at the end. I love him. Like, this is, No, I'm going to save that for a separate section. Let me just get back to my other point. This perfect characterness, because they keep hitting you over the bloody head with it. During the Archon quest, during the story quest, she talks to everyone, and it's like, Mavuika is so cool, she knows exactly what to say. And it's like, oh, but she's also so friendly, so down to earth. You know what it's giving? Also, it's like, because in the Archon quest, she's painting, and you go up to her and it's like, do you want to come to the party? Also, there's so many goddamn parties in Natlan during the fucking war, but okay. She's like, oh, when I want to go, people are going to put their eyes on me. You know, it's like, for some reason, they did this thing where it's like, oh, woe is me, I'm a celebrity. Why? There's so many more interesting plot threads to pull on. And also, just give her a character that isn't just, she's popular, she's amazing, she's innovative, never been done before, fabulously wealthy, just everyone's best friend. I hate her. Like, the reason I hate her, and I keep saying this, and I said this already, I don't hate her because she's bad or she does bad things. Like, I hate Dottore, but I like him as a character. I hate her as a character because they keep trying to push the fact that she's perfect. I don't want to use the term Merisu because I think there's problematic things attached to Merisu, especially because, like, it's not specific to female characters. It does so happens that Mavuika is a woman, but I will say the funny thing with Mavuika is that, like, yes, she's a woman and I could call her Merisu. I'm not going to. She's terribly written, that does not but she's not the only plot, she's not the plot. Like, technically, the other heroes are there too, and the Traveler's there, I guess. However, the fact that they've done this themselves by putting Mavuika with Citlali. Citlali, a character with real flaws, with an actual personality, who's actually interesting, who, like, does plot things that isn't just being holier than thou, benevolent fucking god. Like, I love Citlali, and I hate Mavuika. However, and I wanted to preface that because it isn't on the basis of her being a powerful woman, which, by the way, it would be a very weak excuse against this, because there are so many powerful women in this game. I was just saying for better or for worse, but it's like, I actually just like that, like, so many, like, important figures are women. It's like kind of crazy. No, it's not, because the way the game makes money. But, like, I don't know why they wrote her like this. My suspicion is that because she's a Himiko, they were like, let's subvert the expectations and not have her die. But it basically gave her plot armor, and I didn't know giving someone plot armor also stripped them of their personality. Like, why does she have no personality outside of her bike and being a benevolent god? Like, I don't mind. Okay, also, other thing, I don't mind characters being happy. I don't mind characters not being just tragic. I love Orina and Nahida, and I love their tragedy, but that's not the only reason I like them. It helps. And the thing is, tragedy helps. Like, people struggle. Everyone struggles. And makes people relatable. Ironically, for the human archon, or the archon is supposed to be the human archon. Like, she's the least relatable because she's just some fucking celebrity. I hate this. Sorry, I'm running in circles now because I have other points. Let me just move on. Okay, I'm going to move on to another one of my other problems, which does relate to this, but it's a little bit different. Xbalanque and Capitano. For some reason, I noticed this. Why is it that they gave Xbalanque and Capitano, two men, the best story in all of Natlan, or both stories in all of Natlan? Xbalanque, who rightfully challenged Drakelotl, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, the Pyro Sovereign, defeated him in battle, cleaved his eyes into the Golden Arm Treaties, and took on the authority legally, and then went to go fuck around with Renova and made a deal with her that reshape and was able to convince her to help him reshape the rules of Natlan to create the Night Kingdom. Like, Xbalanque, that massive figure, how did they write? And then also Capitano, the first of the Fatui Harbingers, a surviving warrior from Kandria, who wandered 500 years under the curse of immortality, collecting the souls of the dead that he wanted to lay to rest that could no longer enter the ley lines, then ending his story by, despite it being a benevolent move on his part, by sacrificing his... I don't know, he's not really sacrificing, well, he's putting down his life for Natlan. It seems benevolent, but there is an underlying, and he says this outright, that he's doing it for revenge. It's revenge on Renova. Break your rules or let this paradox happen. Capitano, for as little presence as he has in the actual Archon quest, he pulls out such a good move by the end. I can't. But the thing is, and I want to point on this revenge thing, because Xbalanque, a little bit reckless, and Capitano, mostly fueled by revenge. Yes, most of his goals are lofty and benevolent, and it's beautiful. He deserves the respect he gets. But it is specifically said that he's doing it for revenge. And the thing is, that's what I like. Give a character flaws. Give them things that aren't just perfect and beautiful and doing always the right thing, because it makes them not only more relatable, it also makes them more intriguing, it makes them more interesting, it makes me actually want to learn about them, it makes me like them. That's what's happening over here. These two characters both lost to Mavuika. I'm sorry, some random human who didn't even live the 500 years she claims to have. No, she doesn't claim to have that knowledge. But why is she strong? She is just strong for strong's sake. If some bitch is gonna tell me, oh, she was training a lot, fuck that. That's stupid. Because also, again, the one fought the dragon, the one pretty much killed the god, and was number one of the Fatui Harbingers. And we've seen what the Harbingers are capable of. A warrior from Kandria lost to this bitch. And this is why I hate it, because it's not explained. It is straight up not explained why she's stronger than them. It's just, she is. She just is. And I know this that weird line by her where it's just oh, but we build on the people of the past, therefore we will start with a higher baseline. Fuck you. I guess that's technically true, but that's such a cop-out answer to talk about why she's just so much more. But she is girl bossing all over these men. I'm so much stronger than the captain, number one of the two Harbingers, and I'm so much stronger than you, Xbalanque, the first of the Pyro Archons. I am just he who defeated a dragon and you defeated a god. I'm just so much more powerful than you. I'm just the powerful bestest ever. Bitch. I hate it for this because it is not explained. I would like to know why she's so powerful. I would like to be invested. I didn't go into these quests wanting to hate Mavuika. Quite the contrary, the Archons tend to be the best written characters of their regions, but for some reason, she is the worst written character in all of the region. In fact, one of my least favorite characters, point blank period. Because here's the thing, I was talking to a friend about this afterwards for an hour and 20 minutes, and he was like, he said, I would put her at the bottom of my list, even below Mika and Dori, because for as much, it's not that I don't like those other two. Of course, the thing, we hate Dori. But the thing is, it's more that they have no presence and have no character. I'm sorry, Mika sucks because he just doesn't exist. Mavuika is bad because they try to make her so amazing and just everyone singing her praises. But it just makes her bad. Those two are bad because they have no presence and the one's racist. Mavuika has the whitewashing problem, but then he's also just a terrible character. Unlike Nahida, who it took me, I'll admit this, it took me a while to like Nahida in the Archon quest, solely because I couldn't get over her design. And even now, I still can't get over it, really. But she was so impeccably well written, and she endeared herself to me so much through the action she took, through the amount of effort and time, and the amount of expended resources she does to help the traveler. Everything, it's so good. I love her. Mavuika does jack and shit. Because here's the thing, we don't ask about our sibling. What do we get out of Natlan? Truly, our training arc? Really? Is that what we're getting out of this? Oh, and look, this isn't her fault, but I am angry about this. I'm going to talk about it. She hates the Collective of Plenty. Genshin hates the Collective of Plenty, and they hate Janssen. Now, this isn't her fault. This is the writers. But I am still mad. Why was the Collective of Plenty not part of the quest? Not part of the world before the end of the quest? Why are they so irrelevant? Why did they shove Janssen so far to the back? The friend and I who talked, we have a theory going that it's probably because Janssen was designed before all of this bullshit of Natlan was conceived. There was probably a different plan for Natlan, and Janssen is the product of the plan before, but they pivoted because for some reason they thought making a... I haven't even talked about the goddamn motorbike. Oh, I hate that motorbike. It's so, because I was riding around with it because unfortunately I pulled her before I played the quests, and now I don't regret it because she's a powerful character, but I don't want to see her. Straight up, after this Friendship 10, I'm gonna box her, and maybe for a burst I'll use her, but I'm sorry, I hate her so much. I'm apologizing. It's so incongruous to the rest of the world, having that bike in it, because I know why it exists, and I think it's implied that her sister designed the blueprints. For one thing, say that outright. I shouldn't have to infer all that information just from she's an architect and left a book behind. I shouldn't need to know that. But also, Shilonen, I love Shilonen for this. I know she's joking around with Mavuika, and I know it's implied that she actually likes her. I'm taking this to believe that she kind of hates Mavuika, because Mavuika foists so much work onto this poor girl. I'm sorry, does she not have a life to herself? She isn't just there to make you motorbikes and forge our ancient names, bitch. But also the motorbike, I don't mind the motorbike in concept. Why does it look like it's plastic? Why? It's so modern. And also her biker outfit is also, it's so modern. You could have gone this route without having it look so weird and bad. And also everyone's her flame style is so cool. I wish we had it when I was the archon. I wouldn't have gotten anything done. Mavuika is so much stronger than me. There are so many lines like that. It's Mavuika, you're so great. Or you always know what to say. You always have good plans. When she gives notes on Janssen's the tournament. It's wow, you're so cute. Mavuika, we love you. Ugh. I wouldn't mind this glazing, by the way. I wouldn't mind them praising her if she earned any of it. If she earned it, and if she had a character outside of just being benevolent and good and just the goodest character ever. She feels like what the writers, they want Himiko to be this perfect character. Because here's the thing, she is a version of Himiko in some way or another. Not an XP per se, but she is in some way a Himiko. And I think they were trying to make her the best character ever. But the thing is, when you design a character with no faults, you have the faults that they end up having is unintentional, and I hate it. She's so self-righteous and after narrowly beating Xbalanque, which I don't think she should have, and I don't think she did actually. There was a draw. She does this thing in that after party where it's I saw raise a cup to me. I beat the first part of Archon. I am sorry. Excuse me, I don't care that it's law accurate. Xbalanque would not have lost to some biker chick. He slayed a dragon that he formally asked to a duel, took his authority, cleaved his eyes, I'm not going to go through this, oh no! Also, driving past Orchka Natlan, it's not a tourist destination, but also, sorry Xbalanque, were you so enamored with her goddamn bike you didn't want to mention Orchkan? Or go to the Collective of Plenty? I'm sorry, were they that unimportant to you? I'm so angry. Natlan angers me so much, and Mavuika's kind of the culmination of it, where she's pale, so that's really, I hate her for it. Her hair's ugly when she does the fiery thing. She mentions once about losing it, and by the way, after that scene, we see her with the glowing hair again, and the glowing hair comes back. So why did they tell us? Why did she say, her hair will no longer glow? Bitch, your hair glows all the time. Like, why did they say that? And just to get back to the beginning, I know that her story is sad, because the thing is, I actually think her story is quite sad on concept. Like, leaving for 500 years, leaving the people that you love, leaving your friends and your sister, fuck your parents though, because she never talks to them. Like, I understand that it's sad, and like, they could have done a lot with that, but I'm sorry, Hine, I believe her name was, they don't do much with her. Like, she's kind of just like sympathy bait, and I hate that. Because, you know what's funny? And I'm sorry I keep comparing her to Furina and Nahida, but I have to compare her to Furina here. In Furina's act, the final act, it's like heartbreaking watching that stage, because there's this one part where it's like two different parts, but it's like, I think it's the same thing, where she talks to someone as the archon and she's very nervous, and then later on she talks to someone as the archon and she's very like proud, and they say, oh yes, my great-grandmother came to see you and I finally got a chance to see you myself, and then she starts crying, but she has to like mask it. Like, these characters, we don't know their names, they're just potato NPCs, but that says so much about the time she's lived. Like, Furina was a human living through 500 years, had to watch people wither and die. Like, and that's a lot actually like Citlali, because Citlali in her teaser trailer, she sees someone as a child, watches them grow up trying to fight her, they never achieve their goal, they die, and she puts flowers on her grave. Says to the traveler, that's just someone that annoyed me. I hope you annoy me for a lot longer than they did. It's so, like, they do this theme well. The thing is, because of the way they've set up Mavuika's story, and the way they haven't done anything with Hine, truly, it makes it seem like Hina is just there for sympathy bait, like, oh look, she lost her sister. But the thing is, Mavuika didn't go through anything really. She slept for 500 years, essentially. Like, you lost everyone, it's like, okay. I feel more talking to Faruzan. Faruzan's hangout quest, you actually kind of feel, it's actually a very similar story, because she was only, like, trapped for 100 years, but that's enough time for all of the people she loved to die. And you actually kind of get a sense of why she wants to be treated like she's older, because if she were to be treated like she was younger, like the age she was, for one thing, it's not how she feels, but also it's kind of this idea of she'd be living as a youth, but she's really lost so much. She's like, it feels like two different lives. Living a youth is two different lives. It's like, Faruzan is kind of Mavuika, but written better, which is insane because she's a 4-star with a hangout event and jack all else. Like, I can't believe how much they kind of screwed up Mavuika. Like, they made her this like factory perfect bitch. I'm sorry, I keep using the word bitch, but it's like because I'm very angry. And I just did her story quiz yesterday and I'm still thinking about how much I hate her. Like, maybe in a few months I'll mellow out, but I don't like characters like this. I don't like the factory perfect. It's the miraculous ladybug problem, actually. I don't know if any of you like follow that show. I actually don't. I just follow like I tried it, it didn't work for me, but it's the Marinette problem where like the narrative treats her like she's perfect and good and everything she does is righteous and she does it for the right reasons, even if it's wrong. It's like, no, it makes her boring and it like creates this arrogance and self-righteousness in the character. I think later on they got better with it. I just don't care about Miraculous that much. But like Mavuika is a culmination of that problem. It's like, it's really sad to say, but she was at her most interesting at the beginning. We knew nothing about her. We didn't know her intentions. We didn't know what she was doing. But she doesn't really have a personality outside of being righteous. I have at friendship level 4 at this point. And I'm sorry, her lines do nothing for her. Even the ones where it's like her hobbies and her troubles, it's just like, okay, you're just so great and you're so perfect and the thing is, they could have even played into the whole like self-sacrifice thing where like they didn't do it. They could have played into how much she wants to die, because she doesn't really. And they didn't even play into that at all, but like how much she wants to just go back to her family. They don't talk about it because that would be too much of a character flaw, apparently. Even with, I actually would have loved if when talking to Shabalanke, she accepted the gift and talked to Hine, because it would at least give her some sort of character. For some goddamn reason, when she's about to cry, she puts the sunglasses on, and I hate that. I hate it so much because it's like, oh, she's just too cool to cry. She's at her peak. She doesn't go through anything. She's the same character at the beginning of the story as she is at the end. I hope during some next level war with all the nations and the abyss, I hope she dies like every other Himiko, because like, I hope she passes that torch on to someone more worthy of the name Archon than her. I'm sorry, like, again, it's very weird coming off the heels of Farina. I'm sorry, and Fosalos. Oh, let me just talk with this real quick at the end. Here's the thing. She talked to Xbalanque, and I like Xbalanque a lot. And I think they have a good rapport. It's actually very nice to see that one Pyro Archon to another. But I'm sorry. It just made me think the whole time I was playing it. Imagine Egeria could see Fosalos of Farina. Imagine Leitero Lukurvata getting a conversation with Nahida, and we saw Makoto on A. It is like, it's a very short moment in the second story quest, but it's so heart-wrenching, but also heartwarming to know how much A has changed and how proud Makoto is of her. To see that, because it's a much shorter. If Makoto was to have, like, say, she had a day with Raiden or with A, imagine how, like, each of these situations are so much more interesting than Xbalanque and Mavuika, because Mavuika doesn't have a character, and there isn't really much for to talk about Xbalanque. The other thing is, Mavuika also doesn't have any secrets left. At least with the others, there's somewhat of a secret, because like Venti and Zhongli, yes, they are technically less interesting at a baseline, because they aren't they're already involved in the main quests at all, but they're still more interesting lore-wise, because the game actually did a good job of setting them up. What a concept, when you set up characters, they actually end up fucking good. But with Mavuika, she has no secrets. She's just a good lady, and now she's just very good. She's the most powerfulest of everyone else. She's just so good. She's bleh, ugh. I know this is me being petty, and especially with that last point, I know it's me being petty that, like, I would bawl if Egeria could see Farina now and talk to her, because look, they have very few connections to each other, but I would actually cry because she would be so proud of Farina, and Farina would be so, like, awestruck talking to her and have so many questions about what her role was. God, I love Farina. And Nahida with Ukudavata, like, she doesn't remember her, but, like, to be told that, again, it's an exchange of knowledge. It would be so great. And we've seen Makoto and A, like, just... Oh, there, I got a message. If you heard that buzzing. But, like... I'm sorry, if you like Mavuika, I'm so happy for you. Like, truly, I am, because that means you basically got, like, a character with no faults, a character who's the most just up front and center for the plot. She's just the most perfectest ever. I'm truly, I sound sarcastic, but I am happy for you. I was about to say, and I'm gonna say it, I wish my standards were that low. I'm sorry, and by the way, and I keep on to hop on this. This problem would persist even if she was a man. This problem would persist even if her design was awesome. Like, if I truly loved her design and she still had these problems, I would still hate her, because this is not another message. This is not good character writing. It actually makes me hate her, and I have more problems with Natlan, especially with the way the world is set up and actually how bland it is actually, and how much they hate the Collective of Plenty and the Janssen specifically, and by virtue that's very personal to me. So I don't think I'll do something on it because it makes me too angry. At least this, it's like, it's kind of fun anger. Well, I am truly angry, but also, like, it's fun anger. Anyway, here's Daphne. In her nymph outfit. Well, not in, just in, like, a princess gown. I didn't talk about it at all. Okay. Bye.
For your face, your voice, your clothing, let's just say I love it all.